Alright, so this is actually a reverse cold air intake install. I'm putting the stock back on. But when I put it in there, I can show you the hidden things you can't see that you need to take off, and how you do not need to pull the bumper. Pretty sure that myth is already dead, but at the very beginning everybody thought the bumper had to come off. That is not. Alright, so I am sitting at the computer editing this video right now. As you watch this video, I know the title is you don't have to lift the car off the ground. I did because I was planning on just doing it that way and then realized I don't need to. I'm going to leave the whole thing intact though, so you can see how I did it with the car coming off the ground, and then you can see how you should be able to do it without doing that. As well as every step is in reverse, but instead of editing it and flipping around so it looks like I'm doing it in traditional order, I'm just going to leave it in reverse. So whatever, it is what it is. Here's back to the video. So first thing, car in the air, tire off, and drop the liner. Alright, and you don't need to take the whole liner out, but starting from about here down, undo it. There's these 3 Phillips screws. And then there's 3 styles of clips like this one. That was this kind right here. Just get that worked under it. Keep going around it, prying out, eventually comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, like those kind. If you use a flat end to kind of start it, then you can use the forked end. And that's this kind. Before you get under the car, boom. Okay, so down here, there's a 10mm, a clip, and then right here where these 2 meet, which is right here, right behind it, there's a 10mm. Take those 2 10s out, those 2 clips out. Then you get the 10mm. And then fish the liner out. Alright, so this bracket you won't pull until you've pulled the airbox anyways, but right there, that piece is one bracket. There's a 10 under here you can't see from up above unless you look like from way down here. You can see it from up here, but looking down at it you can't. And there's a 10 right there. 2 bolts, this bracket. This tab right here is where the upper part of the airbox is bolted into. Alright, after you pull the top of the airbox out, you'll see the lower section. That is where the airbox actually slips into. That rubber clip or rubber grommet deal is what it just pops on. That shiny spot right at the corner of my phone, that is one of the bolts. The other one is probably somewhere at the corner of my phone right there, but you can't see it from here, and I'll show you how to get to it. So if you're coming through the wheel well, you can see that bolt right there in the center is what holds that black bracket on. The airbox is bolted into that from the bottom. Now, I'm not putting that piece back in, so I'm going to kind of cheat in this video, and I'm not going to show you exactly. But you don't need to get under to get the one into that bracket, because you can just take this bolt out, and as you lift the airbox up, it'll give you access to take the bracket off the airbox piece if you need to. You might be able to just leave it on the airbox and fish it out. You come under the car, you'll take out that right there. I don't remember the size. I'm gonna guess it's like a 6mm. I don't know though, but oops, there it is. So that'll let the bumper drop. Then you'll have to take this Phillips screw right off there. The Phillips screw that would be there, that I'll have to figure out where that went. Then there's one more just like this, a little further down, and at the very other end there's a Phillips just like that, which will let this plastic piece right here drop down. Alright, then what you'll also have to do is after you do that is that clip, and there's a third clip down there. And then you can slip this whole black plastic piece out. And then you'll come up from the bottom and undo the bolts into the lower part of the airbox. Now I'll show you from under the hood what those look like. So you can get that one from right there, it's pretty easy. Now you get it out, then you get the bracket out of the way, which you could also do that part from right here. And you get this bracket out of there. Now if you really do not want to have to take that plastic piece off down here, and actually I just realized you would have to take off that big metal pan to get this one, but you don't need to because you can get it easily from right here. And after you drop that plastic piece that I showed you below, you'll be able to get to the other one. But if you really wanted to, you could reach under there with a 10mm open end and you can get that one. So it's actually possible to do this whole thing without even removing that lower shield. Alright, and when you go to try to lift it, you can't, because it bolts in from the bottom into that bracket. So you actually have to rock it, like push it back that way to clear that. And once you get it over it, it's just a weird game of Tetris trying to figure out how to fish this piece out. It would be easier to just remove this bracket holding your clutch hardline on. So if you have a CVT, it probably comes out like cake, but it's this bracket for the clutch line that gets in the way. I know I've done it without taking that off though, so I'm going to try to figure that out. Okay, it's not that hard. So now what it is that little rubber bumper that sits right there in that little that clean spot right there is where that rubber sits. Kind of gives you an idea. Now it's that hole right there. There's where the intake will go through. It's that hole in that bracket right there in the center. That's where the bolt comes up through for the front side of that lower resonator box. Those were the holes holding the other bracket. Alright, so to get the upper part off, that bolt and that bolt are out. Intake tube is gone, everything's free. This lower resonator box is still bolted to the car. To get it out, you literally just rock it up that way if you can. It'll get this part clear right there, and then pull up, and that pops off of that rubber. Next is that 10mm and that 10mm. That 10mm. Need a pretty long extension for that one. Then you kind of just twist a little bit while you pull out to free, because it's on that O-ring, so you just kind of twist and pull, pops right out. Get this clip off, take some needle nose, slip it in there and squeeze. And pull out. So what you're doing is squeezing that and pulling it out. Then take out the screws holding the airflow sensor in And if yours aren't black, don't worry. It doesn't mean yours have been pulled before. These are probably not the original screws. They're just ones I had. Alright, so there's this on that clamp and this clamp. And I think it's like a 5.5 millimeter, 6.5, maybe 6, I don't know. Or Phillips is easier. Loosen that one. Loosen that one. Just collapse the accordion. You can get that off. And then pull it off at this end. This will be mounted rigid because there will be that resonator box under it, which I don't have. Alright, so if you did it to where you didn't have to pull that black plastic off the bottom, well, obviously you don't have to go put it back on. So, I mean, really, that's the way I would try anyways, because why not take off less stuff? Alright, so now put your cold air intake in, which is going to differ from every one. So follow those instructions, I guess, unless you're only taking off the resonator box, in which you'll have to know it is a little bit less secure because it doesn't have that point that it's resting on, but it is bolted in 2 rubber mounts, and it's got the accordion on the boot. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere, it's fine. It just will shake more. Start putting everything back together. And if you mix them up, the one with the bigger shoulder is the one that's more inboard of the vehicle. The one with no shoulder, just a floating washer, is the one that goes under the bumper. Alright, and with this clip right here, you just push the clip in and clip it. You're not going to get everything because you're clipping the bumper, this piece, and this piece. So put your finger in that and hold it down while you line up the clip through all 3. Then push it. And then right here, same thing. Put your finger, hold it down, but this time you're only going through 2, but you still hold it down because otherwise the clip could just push it up. Hold it down, clip through, clip it. And then I'll lift the car a little bit to get the weight off the jack stand out, wheel on, jack out. And there you go. We got the resonator box out, and the bumper never came off the car. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Later.